Hello, my dear children. Welcome to English class. I hope you all are safe at your places. In today's class, we will be learning about chapter Alice in Wonderland. So, children, let's begin the class.
Let's find out. One day, Alice was lying under a tree, listening to her sister reading a story. Suddenly, she saw a white rabbit scamper by. Children, what do you mean by scamper? Scamper means to run with light steps. Next, he had pink eyes and was wearing a blue coat. He took out a big watch from his waistcoat pocket, and as he hurried away, he said, "Oh dear, I will be too late." So children, here Alice is a character who is sleeping and listening to a story read by her sister. Suddenly, she feels that a rabbit is passing by wearing a waistcoat and having a watch in its hand, and he is saying that he is going to be late for some work. She thought there was something very different about this rabbit. It could talk, it wore a red waistcoat, and it carried a watch. Alice wondered, a talking rabbit? A rabbit who wears a waistcoat? Alice was burning with curiosity and she followed the white rabbit. So children, the white rabbit was wearing a red colored waistcoat and it was having a watch. This was quite shocking for Alice because animals do not talk, animals do not wear clothes, isn't it? So it was quite shocking for Alice that how can a white rabbit wear a waistcoat and can talk and also can have a watch with him. So Alice started to follow that rabbit. Let's find out, children, what happens next. Children, Alice was very much curious about the rabbit. So she followed him. Now let's find out. The rabbit started running and Alice followed the rabbit. The rabbit suddenly popped down a large rabbit hole. Children, where do rabbits live? Rabbits usually live in burrows, that is huge holes. So this rabbit also used to live in a huge hole and it ran quickly and slipped down to the burrow or the big hole. Now what do you mean by popped, children? Popped means to make a light with a sound. Alice jumped into the rabbit hole too. The rabbit went down and down and down into the rabbit hole. Alice said aloud, "Where am I? How many miles down have I fallen? I must be getting somewhere near the center of the earth." She wondered, "Will I slip through the earth to the other side?" So children, the hole was huge and Alice was sleeping down and she thought that whether she would go out of this earth to the other side through this hole. Thump! Alice landed on a pile of dry leaves. She looked around quickly and suddenly saw the white rabbit again. It disappeared saying, "Oh, my ears and whiskers. How late it's getting." So children, the same dialogue was again repeated by the white rabbit and again Alice saw the white rabbit saying the same thing, that he is getting late and he is in hurry. Alice stood up and saw a small door about 15 inches high. It was too small for her to go through. She saw a glass table with a golden key on it. So children, what did Alice observe? She saw a 15 inches high door. It was very small to get in. She actually saw a glass table with a golden key on it. So what did she do next? She tried the little golden key in the lock and to her delight, she could find that the golden key in the lock and to her delight it fitted. So children, what happened? Alice took the golden keys that were put on the table, and she took that golden keys and she tried to open the door, and thankfully the door opened. Alice opened the door and looked into the loveliest garden she had ever seen. How she longed to be among those beds of bright flowers and those cool fountains. But she could not even get her head through the doorway. "Oh, how I wish I could become smaller," she exclaimed loudly. So children, what did Alice observe here? When she opened the door, she could see through the glass window. It was very small, so she could not get inside or get through that glass window. She could only observe it from the outside portion. And what did she saw? She saw a beautiful garden with a fountain and beautiful flowers arranged in a very beautiful manner. So she thought that if she would have been a bit smaller, she could have slept through that glass window and she could have been there into that delightful garden. She was completely loving it. So children, with this, we come to the end of this chapter. See you in the next class. Till then, stay safe. Thank you.